Hi, I'm Steve Scansaroli, CEO of Bromopac Solutions. Thanks for having us as part of the NYU Entrepreneur Challenge. We have an awesome technology that we believe can help the world. Without any further hesitation, let's get started. Our company is called Bromopac Solutions. As you can see, we've been granted US patents, as well as we have sustainable development goals that are in line with the United Nations, one of our top beliefs. You may or may not know, in gold and precious metal extraction, the deadly chemical cyanide is used. Last year, over 600,000 metric tons of cyanide were used in mining worldwide at a cost of $1.5 billion. While gold is continually being depleted from the earth, you may not realize that 112 million ounces of gold were extracted last year at 80.6% reclamation or yield rate. This cyanide use has led to a problem of death, destruction, and a non-sustainable environment for our earth. Spent cyanide, that's after the extraction, is stored in settling or tailing ponds. These ponds are typically dug out wells that are lined with rubber, and the spent cyanide goes in there to settle for 30 to 50 years and evaporate into the environment. Since 1971, there's been over 15 mining disasters in countries. And that's only been in countries where reporting is required. For example, the Bamar mine, over 100,000 cubic meters of cyanide was spilled, contaminating over 6 countries. Some other interesting facts that talk about the problem of cyanide use in mining is that about 79 tons of contaminated mine waste for every ounce of gold is created. Around 18 tons of contaminated waste or ore are created for one single wedding ring. Think about that for a second. Also, using cyanide in conjunction with mercury, which is typical, inhalation of 120 milligrams of this can lead to death in 30 to 60 minutes. There is good news. Some countries are prohibiting mining new mines with cyanide. However, even in the United States and Australia, which are progressive countries in this leadership type of model, existing mines are grandfathered in and continue to use the deadly cyanide for the extraction and harmful effects to our environment, the water supply, etc. There are alternative chemicals such as thiosulfate. However, their yield is less than 85%. So what's our solution? The Bromopac solution. In mining and extraction, we can create bromine on site, which eliminates deadly cyanide. Our gold recovery yields are significantly more than cyanide, over almost 2.5 to 3% more, at over 89% more than any other process available. This has been proven time and time again since the early 1900s, believe it or not. Also, using bromine allows for 0.9999 pure extraction. This is important because it eliminates continued refining, such as when you use cyanide, there's an additional chemical process that must be used. Bromine does not have this happen. And as I said, there's a US patent on this apparatus, and we have application use patents pending that we believe will change the market and give us the extra hook in the marketplace to really grow the company. Moreover, for places and mines that do not want to change their cyanide operation because they may have spent a lot of capital on it, Bromopac can also neutralize cyanide in these current settling ponds. By electrochemically treating the cyanide with the bromine, we're able to create an inert chemical that reduces accidents, pollution, and may even decrease the cost of insurance for these mines. It also recycles the previous used chemical waste and will have additional gold yields as some of the cyanide ions continue to cling on to gold, even in these settling pools. This safe chemical process created by Bromopac is in alignment with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. What is the system? Well, there you can see a typical small system. There's a holding tank, some pumps, and here are the electrical cells. It's an on-site electrochemical apparatus that using something called a cell with an anode and cathode and electricity creates bromine on site. The inputs are water, safe and stable sodium bromide salts, which can be transported, and if an accident was to happen, are non-hazardous, and electricity. Through this electro process, it creates bromine, and water, and sometimes some hydrogen, which is vented into the atmosphere with no ill effects. The residual after extraction is recycled. This leads to, of course, excellent efficiencies, as you can imagine. What does the market look like in gold and reclamation? Well, the total gold market last year was 3,200 tons at $2,000 an ounce for $225 billion. We also have some figures for the US gold market there. If Bromopac was to convert 100% of the market, which we know is very difficult, the companies would see $7.1 billion in additional yields and savings worldwide. In the US alone, at 10%, these companies would see $42 million in additional gold and savings over current processes of thiosulfate and/or cyanide. Our revenue model, we believe, is unique. As it costs about $30 million for a cyanide plant, we understand the mines may not want to spend more money to convert. However, we lease our product at a $5 million price for an average size unit. The price can differ depending on the size of the mine, of course. With $5 million up front, $1 million a year payment. There's $100,000 spare part business per year, which is mostly anodes, because as the anodes are used, they do degrade. And there's roughly $300,000 in bromine salt supply every year for each unit. At 5 years and 7 units sold, which we believe is very conservative, revenue would be $11.6 million with EBITDA of $4.7 million and 11 employees. At 4 times cash flow, conservatively, we believe this company will have a valuation of $28 million. Very interesting, however, though, is at 48 months, we believe that we can completely pay back the initial investment to our equity holders that invested early. The company benefit is Bromopac will own the asset, and we will be having some tax advantages from that, and long-term supply contracts, as well as patents, which all have value. We're happy to share detailed financials with you. As for the timeline in year 1, you can see this would be after the Entrepreneur Challenge. Finish the patents. We want to enter the Mining Challenge, which is awesome for exposure, which is in Colorado, and many mining and technology companies have come to be born there. Attend one industry-leading meeting and do more pilot lab testing. We need to raise further capital, but I'd like to point out one of the important pieces. There are no paid employees in year 1. In fact, there will be no paid employees until we do our final raise and we are proven and ready for commercial launch. Furthermore, you can see through the years, we start to ramp up with new applications for livestock slaughter. And by year 5, 7 units sold, and we will position for expansion, a joint venture with a chemical company, or a complete sale of the business. From the Entrepreneur Challenge, we would like to use the money for consultants, pilot plant testing, legal patents, and for travel, entertainment, and entering into new competitions. As you can see, there are no money spent on salaries or benefits. It's all allocated to Bromopac. Here is our team. There's myself, Steve Scansaroli, and Mike Tehan. We're both EMBA students at NYU. We also have anticipated board members we have consulted with already. Philip Rinaldi, he is a very well-known mining, petroleum refining C-suite individual. Rod Sargent, who helped develop the Bromopac system. And 2 environmental individuals we believe are very influential, Laddie Merck and Jazz Johnson of the Merck Pharmaceutical and Johnson & Johnson Pharmaceutical families. We also have advisors that have spent time in gold mining as well as electrochemical process and mineral mining. And we have institutional investors we believe would be very interested in our technology for the initial fundraise, as these chemical companies typically have venture capital groups. Thank you very much. Let's make precious metal extraction safer and sustainable. I look forward to your questions.